You are listening to the Critical Mass Radio Show, Orange County's business talk show, focused on exploring topics of interest to CEOs who are leading middle market companies. With your host, Richard Franzi.
Hello and welcome to Orange County's longest running business talk show. And yes, I am your host, Rick Franzi. And boy, are we planning to have a good show for you today. Why, do you ask? Because Gaye Tomlinson, who is co-founder and CEO of Vaha Engineering, is our guest. Welcome to the program, Gaye.
Hello. Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. Let's get started. As the co-founder, now CEO, take us back in time to the original motivation and inspiration you had for launching your firm.
Well, I am the co-founder. It means there's another person involved, and he is the visionary of it. I don't think he's watching the show right now, but so my husband and I started this company together in 2007. My husband, who was very much into sustainability, said, all the energy is coming from, the trickle energy is coming from dirty sources. Something has to be happening. There will be electric cars coming on board soon. And, where's all this power going to come from? I think we should do something for sustainability. And he was looking into it, and he said we could do solar panels. And my experience with solar panels coming from Turkey is they are used for hot water. I never had heard that you could make electricity with solar panels. So this is like 15 going on 16 years ago. And I had just finished my MBA a couple of years before that, and I was very open to starting my own business. I always wanted to start my own business. And so we took the idea and ran with it. And we said, okay, we'll start a solar company. It was just like that, literally.
I love entrepreneurs, huh? Get a good idea, take action. So how long after you and your husband, AKA your co-founder, how long after you made that decision and moved towards the company did it take for the two of you to believe that you had a company that you could count on that was going to scale and thrive? How long did that take?
It took about a year and a half. And the reason being, when we started the business, we actually moved very quickly. We made the move from New York City to California because we found out California had this amazing program. Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor, and he started this program building rooftops. And they had a lot of money to give for solar installations. They were really subsidizing them. There was some federal tax credit. And we thought, and California has all the sun. California is very progressive. A lot of the ideas started with California and kind of moves on and becomes nationwide. So we felt like we should do the move. And of course, we also had a grandmom who could watch our brand new baby. Because my husband's from California, but we lived in New York at the time. So we literally did the cross-country move. We got in the office immediately. I had a business plan. We had all these ideas. We were just on the phone. We were just dealing and willing. And then I started a marketing campaign where we were going to do multiple prong marketing with direct mail and so forth. And we picked direct mail because nobody was doing direct mail at the time. It was so bad for a while, everybody dropped it. So that was a time nobody was doing it. I'm like, nobody's receiving them. They're going to read this. So we sent the first mailing out, and the economy collapsed. Lehman Brothers collapsed that week. And everybody's wealth just went to nothingness. And I remember sitting in the office and looking at all the money we spent on the marketing material and thinking, I guess this is not going to happen. But the thing is, when you're so when you're in a point where you cannot fail, because if you fail, like what else is there to do? You cannot even look for a job because everybody is being laid off.
Right.
You just have to make it. We just had a new baby. We just made the move from East Coast. Economy is going to tank, and you just get creative. So we got creative, and I brokered the deal between Anaheim Public Utilities and Habitat for Humanity, and was able to get us all in the news. We had volunteers installing solar panels on the roofs, and through it all that and through all these connections, we actually got Safeway, and as a commercial client. And I think that took us about a year at least to go through all that problem.
Yeah, as I too started my business in 2007, and I too remember those early days when people were not interested in spending money on anything, thinking that we were in for such a serious crisis as became the Great Recession. But we're both here now with our own businesses. So we weathered the storm, didn't we, Gaye?
Yes, we certainly did.
So let's talk about Vaha Engineering now. Who are you helping? What's the niche and focus of the business? And sort of maybe just to explain how the company has evolved over the years.
So we actually initially started with the concept of let's work on energy efficiency because there is a lot of energy being wasted. A lot of people don't know that most of the energy they use, not most, but a big chunk of the energy they use really is wasted through various ways. At the time, the light bulbs were even like still incandescent because we're talking about 15, 16 years ago. And there was just so much money being spent on just like not very good systems. And so our goal was to clean that up, and then whatever we have left, that the actual energy you need, then we would, provide solar energy for that. So it would be a very sustainable system. But when we brought the idea, everybody was like, "Give me the solar, forget about the energy efficiency." So by default, we had to move very solar oriented. But we always included we'll give you a free energy audit because we really wanted them to be a little aware. So we're able to affect a little bit. And then from then on, we now are very much into energy storage systems. But what has changed the most is we were very residential, we were from home to home. And now we are definitely more of a developer scale. We like putting projects together. We like seeing them through. We don't install them ourselves. We have installation partners, but we create the whole project from the beginning to the end. We like working with commercial clients because we bring a lot of value to them. I think around somewhere along the way, we're going to touch into that because I know you have some questions about it, but it is a very financial product, actually. So it's important for us to be able to explain it to the corporations, which Jeff and I have a very strong background. I have an MBA, he is from Merrill Lynch. So I think that way we really segued way into the commercial side and now most of the energy storage systems because that has to happen.
So we're going to stay on what the company's doing now, but I need to go back for a minute because based on what you just said, neither you nor your husband, did you say his name was Jeff?
Yes.
Had solar engineering experience before you both decided to move across the country, bring your mother, take the baby, and start the company, huh?
No.
Wow.
I knew nothing about it. He knew nothing about it. We took a lot of classes. We had a lot of education. And I remember telling Jeff, because I had just finished an MBA, it was a tough school. I went to Cornell. I love it, but it was not an easy ride. And I said, I am an engineer by default. And I also just finished an MBA. I have only so much space left for more and more. So I'm like, right. You learn most of the technical, I'll do most of the business. And that's what it ended up being. I know a lot of the technical stuff, but I'm definitely not his level.
Okay. So you started doing resident. I'm sorry.
It was a lot of self-education.
I would think, yeah, especially in the early days in a nascent industry. And okay, so you moved from residential to larger, more complex industrial commercial applications. And it sounds like you really have an emphasis now on storage. Is that in addition to panel installation, or is that really the storage as a complement to maybe installing panels by somebody else? Do you do both sides of the work?
We do both sides. So energy storage systems actually, they can be single site because they're batteries, right? You can use the batteries to as backup power, or you can use it to shave your demand charges because the utility companies along the way, since the last 10, 15 years, they've changed their pricing structure quite a bit because they saw that solar was offsetting way too much money for clients. So they shuffled stuff around in a way that they were still able to make really good money. So I am sorry if there is any utility people in the audience, but that's the truth. So energy storage systems are very useful for whatever solar cannot offset in terms of financial components, but they're also great for backup power. So we're still doing both, but I would say they're either in tandem together, or they are I just saw your writing, I'm sorry, my mind went for a second. Or they could be energy storage systems, because they can just be, installed without solar panels too.
Mm-hmm. Or they can go into an existing installation that has panels, and you can add the solar batteries to them as well. So you said a lot of things that are interesting, but one that caught my attention, and I just wanted to maybe ask you to put a little bit more information around it. You said it's a lot of a financial sale now, not so much a technical sale, if I understand what you're saying correctly. Could you explain to our audience or at a very kind of overview level, why do you say it is that a financial consideration now?
Because I think a lot of people think solar panels are like HVAC systems or some sort of mechanical addition to a building, to a facility, but it's actually an asset. The only reason, unless you want to be just sustainable and have clean energy, the biggest reason to have solar panels is to offset your utility bill. Basically, you install a revenue generating asset, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to understand the financial repercussions. And HVAC is doing something else. It's an AC system. You're cooling down. Nobody's thinking about how much money am I going to make from this, because you're not. You're going to spend money to get that service. But with solar panels, it's very intangibly. You don't see what's happening. You don't notice when that power is being fed into your building. And if you don't see any change in your electric bills, and if you don't really care about the environment, there's no reason to have solar panels. But it is a great revenue generating asset. It really lowers your cost significantly, especially in some certain industries where the costs are so expensive in California.
Yes.
California is a very expensive power.
So I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm just wondering, are there any recent programs that you've installed or helped to install that you would like to bring to our attention? Any notable installations that Vaha Engineering has done that you could share with us?
Sure. We work with several big companies. We did Safeway. We did the Archdiocese of Orange County. I think our biggest fun was with Los Angeles Lakers. We installed their solar panels in their headquarters in El Segundo. That was a lot of fun. We watched a lot of games from the suites. I certainly love that one. We have a great, because we partnered with LG Electronics. We use LG's solar panels, and collectively we created this quick video, like 3 minutes, of how they show in quick shooting how the panels are installed. So that was a lot of fun. We are working with Disney on the consulting side as we speak. And so we have a lot of really fun clients, great clients.
Yeah, this is great. So you were really kind of an early mover too, back in 2007, 2008, in what was an emerging industry. And I'm wondering, have you seen not just what you and Jeff in your company does well, but are there secrets to success in your industry that other companies that are in your space that are successful are doing? Are there some common things that successful companies in your industry are doing?
I think, like I said, one thing that a lot of the companies that I'm busted and quite understand, the smaller companies, is it is a financial product, as I was explaining, in addition to, because it's not just like being a roofer and being an electrician helps with the construction part of it, but the product itself has to be explained properly to the clients. And a lot of the times I think the clients don't understand. They're given a lot of wrong information. And then when the bill starts showing up, that information just shows in your face that this was not correct. So there has been a lot of, I think, tension that actually really catapulted companies to bankruptcy in some ways, because they had to go fix it. We have to give 10-year warranties for these installations. So that's been definitely an issue. So it's definitely a financial one. And quality, honestly, because especially with residential, it came to a point where everybody who had a truck and had some understanding of electrical started going up and building these systems. And now we started receiving so many calls. Hey, my system is not working. My installation company got bankrupt. Can you guys come serve? So there was a lot of that, like it sounds like a very easy industry, but there are complexities to it where people need to understand, and there's a lot of investment by the clients. So we owe it to them to do a really good job, both in the installation and in the financial analysis component, and also the service, because you're embedded with these people for 10 years, since
Right.
installation warranties for 10 years. The solar panels are warranted for 25 years. I mean, it's just a long-term relationship. We have some clients from 2009 that we engage with. Um, so yeah, you want to really be a good quality company.
There's also a lot of technology. There's technology in the panels. There's certainly a lot of technology in the batteries, and both of those have had a lot of investment, and they're revving the technology. And so, there is a more efficient panel now probably than there ever was, and LG continues to figure out how to get more energy out of the same surface area. I'm wondering, in the battery area, are you using LG products for the batteries as well, or do you use a different manufacturer for that?
We actually worked with LG on the residential side, but we are doing a lot of the commercial side right now. So we're definitely working with different battery companies.
And is there a lot of technology revolution going on there, where storage
Yes,
capacity?
batteries actually are now in the early adopter stage.
Okay.
So yay. I say yay because we went through a lot of the headache of the city is understanding solar and how they're going to handle the permits, because they all need to be permitted, and the utility is how they're going to tackle all this. Now we are living the exact same thing with the energy storage with batteries. Cities don't quite understand it. The fire departments don't quite understand it. The utilities don't quite understand it. Things are changing every day on real time. We start a client here and we commit to something, and then it goes this way or that way. So, but I know from my past experience with solar and knowing the industry as well as we do now, that energy storage systems are going to be huge, and they're going to be the way of the future in the next 2 to 5 years for sure. So it is going to definitely go ramp up for sure.
Good. It seems very logical that if you're creating your own energy, you ought to store it, especially in Southern California, where we do have the risk of earthquakes and other things that could interrupt your power supply. So.
And the wildfires. There are a lot of wildfires, and most of the wildfires are actually caused by utility lines catching fire. And I think about more than 80% of them.
Wow.
So utilities actually, California Public Utilities Commission and the utilities came up with this net metering agreement, a new version of it, where now new solar needs to go with a battery, otherwise it makes no financial sense. They changed the whole way of how the clients are credited if they install solar, in a way that if you don't have batteries, you might as well not bother, because your payback is not 10 years. So they want those batteries in because there are so many power outages and so many people with health issues had problems. And the utility companies had to pay so much to make up for all what happened, all the during the power outages, during the wildfires. So I think this is their solution, like, go get a battery every single time. So we're off the hook, which is great. It's really gonna definitely surge the industry.
That's great. So I'm wondering, through your years of being an entrepreneur and successful in your company, your formal education, were you ever given a piece of business advice that has been really valuable for you, or something that you could share with my audience that falls into that category of kind of good business advice?
I think I'm given a lot of advice over the years. I've certainly discovered a lot of things by burning. I did a lot of burn and learn on my own, but I think one of the best advices I've ever been given is celebrate your wins, because we entrepreneurs are always very hard on ourselves. We are just always in the mode of figuring things out, problem, solution, how do I better this? How do I solve this? But we all need to take a minute to say, hey, we did this great. This was wonderful. It actually makes you fall in love with your business again. If you're constantly solving problem after problem, you burn out. I think that's why burnout happens, because we just do not create enough dopamine related to our businesses by saying, oh, this was wonderful. Oh, I got this deal. Oh, we closed this, or we helped this person, or we helped this person. Definitely celebrate your wins.
I love that. That's a
Yeah.
great one. So if someone would like to learn more about Vaha Energy or maybe connect with you on LinkedIn or social media, how do they do that, Gaye?
Definitely, they can just go to our site on LinkedIn, just Vaha Energy, or they can just direct message me, and I am very responsive. I'd love to help people. And we are actually running some feasibility studies right now for energy storage systems, complementary studies for commercial clients, or if anybody is looking to find a way to offset more bills, because what happened over the years is once people installed solar, the bills were supposed to go down quite a bit, which they did for a while, and then the whole pricing structure changed. And now we can offset the increased bills with the energy storage systems, but I don't think many people are even aware of that yet. So we are definitely trying to make them aware by giving, complimentary feasibility studies. So
So
just
it sounds like what you're saying is it's financially better to store the electricity you create than to put it back into the grid and get the offset from your utility.
Yep.
Okay. Because that used to be the payback, right? Yeah. Okay. How much less you use and how much they're forced to buy from you, but now they figured out a way to pay you less for that. Interesting.
But when you send the power back to them, how you're getting compensated went down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it's more beneficial to store that power and feed it back when you need it. And I think they really wanted that, like I said, because of the wildfires. There were so much in hot water, and the utility companies spent so much money for lawsuits. I guess that's the way they found a solution. But I love it because energy storage systems are definitely very valuable.
Well, there you have it from an expert. There you go. One of the many benefits of being a listener to Critical Mass Business Talk Show. So, Gaye, thank you. I know you're super busy, you got a lot going on, and you've given us time, and I really appreciate you sharing your story with my audience today.
Thanks so much for having me. This was fun.
It was fun. I'd like to thank the audience, too. Hopefully it was fun for you as well. Gaye's interview goes into our catalog of 1,400 plus interviews that we've done over the years. And so if you're an Orange County entrepreneur and you have a story to tell and you'd like to share it here on Critical Mass Business Talk Show, then reach out to me. On LinkedIn, I'm Rick, R-I-C, Franzi, F-R-A-N-Z-I. Coincidentally, that's our company's website as well, rickfranzi.com. And until the next time we have a chance to be together, I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.